Hello, everybody. I'm Nilima Bhat, the founder of Shakti Fellowship, Shakti Leadership, and we're here to record a Grandma's March interview. And I've invited my mother to be the grandma to be interviewed, who will tell her story. She's a real exemplar, as I hope you'll soon find out. Her name is Vilasini Patnaik. And to interview her, I thought who better than her grandson, my son, Shravan Bhat, who actually happens to be a very highly qualified journalist and reporter who's very used to doing interviews. He used to be with Forbes magazine and with Euro Money, and so he's done this a lot. But perhaps the first time that he's interviewing his grandma for Grandma's March. So with that, over to you, Shravan and Vilasini. I'll be a fly on the wall, and I'll perhaps come back right at the end. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mom. And Nani, what a pleasure it is to speak to you and to interview you here. I feel like I've interviewed a lot of people in my life, but this is definitely the most interesting one. Um, Actually, maybe before we do, Mom, is there a way, because the video is still on your screen? Do you know if there's a way to maybe record Nani as she speaks, or record me?
Oh, but I think Nani will start speaking. When she speaks, it perhaps show up. So in any case, let me hide self-view. Is that okay now?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Excellent. So, hi, Nani.
Hi.
We can see you. Nani,
Some came.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. So, I want to ask you first, tell us, where were you born? And rather than going through your whole life story, which I know will be a long thing, tell us, where were you when you first became a grandmother?
Wow. I was born in place called Pain in Maharashtra, and I am a Maharashtrian, and my husband is from Orissa. And as you asked me where I was when I became a grandmother, so actually I was in Kandla, place called Kandla, because my first grandson was to be born, and my daughter was in Dubai, so I was supposed to go for her delivery to help her, but I got a heart attack just 2 months before, 2 months before, and I couldn't go. So I got only the news that I got a grandson, but I couldn't go to see him, or finally she brought him to Kandla.
Wow.
So that was the first child's story.
Oh my goodness. And since then, so obviously that was Karthik. Then I came along a couple months later. And
yes.
Then, go ahead.
So for your birth, I was there. I was there in Bangalore. All the 4 grandparents were there. And we were so happy to see you. We all were in hospital when you came. So that was a great feeling.
And then 3 years later came the two girls. One daughter from mom's sister, and then Shambhavi.
So out of that, again, the first from Purnima's granddaughter, Purnima's daughter, I couldn't go. I was not there. She was born in Delhi. But of course, for Shambhavi, Nilima's daughter, I was there to take care of her.
And so when you first became a grandmother, did you feel anything different? Like, were you like ready to be a grandmother? Was it a new kind of like sensation? Like, how was it?
Well, I mean, it was quite excitement, and basically not for becoming a grandmother, because I was not even 49 that time.
Wow.
And so it was just to go and help my daughter and see her through all her these things and be with her, and then see that was more important than becoming a grandmother. To be
And
support to the daughters was more important.
interesting. And so like I'm sure, kind of as the years went, right, they then came into their own as mothers, and did and so like once you kind of no longer had to be there to help on every little thing, did your role then change, or did you basically still stay the same role, I guess?
No, actually, I had been a very, very fortunate grandmother who had who could spend all my time with my grandchildren. My first Purnima's two children, I spent 10 years with them, bringing them up. I mean, of course, their parents brought them up, but I had the fortune to be with them all the time. So I used to help around, like pick them up from school and take their studies and pamper them with good food, like that. So I was very fortunate to be with them, not from far off place to just see that grandchildren are there.
I, I
I
remember
lived with them.
I remember I remember coming to stay with all of you in Bombay, and the joy in that house, a large piece of that joy, I think, was just kind of the relationship that you and them had. How you would ask them, like, after school, okay, what do you want to eat? And then
Yes,
you would like help them with their homework, or help them with sports, and kind of your energy was just there in that home, and in their childhood. It must have been a really happy time for you.
yes, yes, very much. And I was a very ambitious grandmother. So
Ah,
I wanted them to excel in all the fields, whether it is academic, whether it is music, whether it is dance or sport or drama. I used to make sure that they get the prize and come back.
so I've always been curious. So where did that desire to kind of go forth and have ambition and come first in class, where did that thing in you, like first start and come from?
That is because I was ambitious with my daughters
Ah,
also. So so that is what is the great thing about being a grandmother. You have fulfilled all your lives with desire, bringing up your children and settling them down nicely, and you are very happy that your children have done so well in life and they are settled. So after that, when you get grandchildren, it is like having a cream on the milk, you know.
it's like
So
the little cherry on top, right?
on
It's
top
the
of the
extra.
yes,
So you said that, when you were raising them, you were trying to make sure that they were doing well in life. So I'm curious, like, what is your dream for your grandchildren, four of them, knowing that, like, all of us are so different, right? Karthik and I, the older boys, and then Shambhavi and Pallavi, 3 years younger. Like, what's your dream?
to tell you the truth, I think you all four have fulfilled my dreams. You have excelled and done so well in life. So the only one dream I have is that you all get married, all four of you, and settle well in life and have a happy married life. That is only my dream. Because you have done so well, you have got such good jobs, you have gone to such good universities. So everything you have fulfilled.
Oh, Nani, this is the way that now my weekend is now very happy. Um, so I'm looking at kind of like my experiences with you, and we got to live together with you when I was 20 21, till 24 in like Bombay. And so I was no longer a child, like I was a working professional, but I still remember in the house. I feel like you and me had a very close relationship.
Yes.
I remember when I would come home from work, even if I had like a really hard day, you would open the door and you would be so happy to see me, and you would say, "Ah, I have made this food." Or if I had had like a really bad day, you would say, "Okay, okay, I will make one, fish fry for you just to make you happy." And so I feel like the way that you showed love, especially to me, has been through food. Can you speak a little bit about that? Like, where did that come from? How do you think about that?
Well, I know you were very fond of food from the childhood. So, and I knew all your these things, likes, which are your favorite dishes and all. And that I was enjoying cooking for you, because you used to appreciate it so much. So I used to every day think, what should I make him today and all. And I used to wait and look from the window that you will get down from the taxi, and then immediately I will start heating the food and all. So, and it gave me so much pleasure to see you enjoying that food with so much of affection. That gives you a lot of satisfaction. There are so many people who just, you put good food in front of them, they just eat,
Yeah.
and they don't even say, but the way with every spoon you will say, wow, it's so good.
And
So that
what is interesting about you, I think there's like a stereotype that grandmothers just love to cook for everyone. I think for you, you do enjoy cooking, but only in certain occasions, or in, so can you just explain that a little bit?
Well, I enjoy cooking only for my grandchildren.
That's it.
I don't enjoy cooking for my husband or I don't think I cooked anything good for my daughters when they
So
were
sad.
brought up. So, but I don't know. When my grandchildren were born,
Yeah.
I just turned into a good cook and I started cooking. Even now, I have left cooking because now you people are not around. So I don't even go to the kitchen. So my whole this thing was my grandchildren.
My friends who came to stay with me in Bombay, the one thing they remember about that was your food. Yes, your nani had made chicken biryani. Your nani had made this and made that. So your cooking, has really traveled the world in that sense. Um,
You don't remember the stories and what I used to tell you
which ones? Tell
when
me,
you were small.
tell me one now quickly.
Oh, no. In fact, instead of me, you interviewing, I interrupted you. You go on because it was
No,
going on food. So I thought,
no. And also I know once your stories start, then we'll be here for a long time. No, I wanted to ask you. So you've been a grandmother now for 30 years, which is
yes,
actually quite a long time. And I feel like you also have changed and grown, like obviously in the last 30 years. If you were
yes,
to go back and meet yourself when you were in Kandla after you had your like heart attack, would you
yeah.
give yourself any advice or any tips or anything about being a grandmother, or any like lessons, like what would you say to yourself?
To myself.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that time, actually, first thing I will just tell you one
Yes.
incident.
Yes.
That when I got the heart attack and I was not able to see my grandchild, so I had to pray to God that please keep me till my grandchildren become because that time your mom was also expecting. So that's why I said, please keep me till my both grandchildren become till 4-year old, and I hold both of them and go to show them Disneyland. Please do that much for me. So because of my heart attack. So that was the thing I wanted to tell. But now, as a grandmother, when I became a grandmother, first thing I have thought to myself that we will not interfere in your upbringing. Let the parents do it. The parents, I mean, we have got no right to interfere and indulge in spoiling the grandchildren by doing something against the parents. So both Nana and I, we remained out of your upbringing. Both the parents had their wishes and they brought you up according to their will. But we did as far as whatever love, ours was an unconditional love.
Yes.
So we gave you the complete love and support, and luckily, touch wood, all four of you were good children. So there was no need to discipline you.
Yeah. You were speaking there about Disneyland. So I want to ask you one quick side question, which is, of all the holidays that we have been lucky enough to take together, which one is the most memorable one?
Wow. I think all of them were so memorable. Each one was better than the other.
Yeah. I remember driving around Spain.
Yes, Spain. Yes, Spain was the best actually, because there was so much to see and such good food to eat.
I remember that. And I also remember the like funniest thing was when you would come see us in cold places. I think it was Wales, and you would wear two pairs of like trousers under your sari and be wrapped up and be cold in the
Yes. I can't bear cold.
No, I mean, the chance for us, we have been so lucky. I realize so many other people. I mean, I am 30 years old and I still have a really incredible relationship with you. And long may it continue. It has enriched my life in more ways than I could ever describe. That love and the things that I saw you doing, the way that you would work, the way that you would clean, you would like just the way that the house would run. I think I learned a lot from you. um and I guess I'm curious that today, I guess, as you look at grandmothers and yourself, I know that you don't like to give wisdom and lots of gyan to other people, but if you had to give like any wisdom to women in the world overall, is there anything that you would say for Women's Day and for Women's Month?
No, actually, first of all, I think everybody should be a very, very humble human being, hardworking, honest, and good human being, and love unconditionally everyone. Don't expect in return anything from others.
Yeah.
You keep giving, giving.
Yeah.
That is what is. And another thing is, if you bring up your family nicely, the society is helped. If everybody just tries to bring their own family with a lot of values and wisdom,
Yes,
the society will become much better. That's all. I mean, you don't have to go out and start doing social work sort of thing. That is, of course, is very good. But even bringing your own families, 8-10 people, make them honest, hardworking, genuine people. I think that will help too.
Well said, Nani. Well said.
Right?
I think so. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that is what will help the society. I said, if they say it, no, one drop makes this, one drop make the ocean.
Yeah.
So one good family will make a big, good world.
Well, Nani, that is so interesting. Like in like my job and in the way that I think, I always think of how can we have change at a global scale, and what can governments do, like what can businesses do. And I so rarely think, what can my own family do? Like, let's just start with us. What can
Yes.
we do to be to be better, to respect women better, and to create a more uh, you know and so I want to ask you, because I feel like I've seen you as a grandmother. Did you have a relationship with your grandmothers when you were growing up?
No, Shravan, I was very unlucky. I haven't seen both of my grandmothers. They were not there when I was born.
Did,
So I have not this thing, no
Interesting.
relation.
Did
But
you
as
did
a
you
siblings, we were 10 of us,
Mm,
and we are still very close, still very close. So having 10 people, family itself is a very great thing, even if you didn't have a grandmother. I mean, there was a difference of 20 years in my elder brother and myself.
wow.
So, so even to remain so happily and so close knit in one family gives you this thing.
And your like family, even to this day, it is astonishing, because you are now all in your in your 70s and 80s.
It
But
is.
in 80s, but I've not seen a group of people in the 80s with such a kind of zest for life. And they will just they will just turn up at our door and say, come, let's have dinner, come, let's have some drinks, let's have some music. And it's like, okay, we're going to do this now. It's an amazing thing.
So you have to be always positive and happy, and don't keep grumbling that I didn't have this and I didn't have that. To tell you the truth, don't expect too much from this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever you are having, be happy with that, and then the family remains happy.
Yeah. I want to ask you, so um the idea of that grandmother, even though you did not get a chance to see either of yours, the idea of this woman who is a very mature, a very caring, a very giving woman. Did you have any other figures like that in your family, whether it was a grand aunt, or even just other women where you were growing up, where you kind of had that role model?
No, unfortunately not. But my sister, I mean, we lost our mother quite early.
Mm.
So one of my sister was that type. She was like taking care of whole family, very kind, very. So all holidays, whenever we used to get leave from Nana's job, we used to go and visit her and enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. I there's a thing that I am genuinely very curious about, which is when you meet other grandmothers, what do you all talk about? Do you talk about your grandkids and being a grandmother? Do you just gossip about like, what is it like?
No, actually, I don't think anybody talks about their grandchildren. We talk about our life.
That's good. That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. No, Nani, I think from from like my side, that is kind of like more or less what I had wanted to ask you. Um, I will just say that you have been a force in my in like my life that I will never be able to truly quantify, and the influence that you have on people. Everybody remembers you. people who have met you once remember you. The guys in the market downstairs in Bombay, after you left Bombay, they still remember you. Whenever I walk through that market, they don't care about me. They call me, hey, where is Mataji? So for some reason, there is this spark in you that is completely unique. That it just it people kind of go with you wherever you're going, and it stays with them. So please never change that. Never stop smiling. Whenever I think of you, I think of your smile. I think of this smile, and I just start smiling myself. So please never change.
Thank you so much, Shravan. Thank you. Actually, I will, when you all were small, I used to tell you stories, and those stories gave you the values of life, virtues of life.
Yeah.
They were simple things. I mean, you were so small. I mean, the children, all four of you, I'm
Yes.
talking. So we
Yes.
used to tell them to hold your hand, and we used to say, shall I cut here? Shall I cut here? Shall I cut here? And then we used to cut here. And then, oh, chocolates. And then we used to say, first give five to the God, then five to Papa, five to Mama, five to brothers, sisters. So this is where we taught them that you should share. You should not just so many chocolates and you eat them. That is not the case. Then there used to be a co-living thing. So it
Yeah.
was a very nice song. We used to, especially the girls like Shambhavi and Pallavi, we used to say, Nats go gumma, kashiminatsu, Nats go gumma, kashiminatsu. So this is, in that song, it used to say that the tailor hasn't come, so I don't have a blouse to wear. So how can I dance? Then he used to say that gardener has not come, so I don't have a flowers to wear. So how can I dance? So the cobbler hasn't come. I don't have chappals to dance. So how can I dance? So the coexistence. So we need all these people around you. You can't be just living in a palace and not having these people. So these sort of stories with the moral in it. So this side of hundreds of
Oh, Nani, I'm remembering that book, Panchatantra. Is that the one with,
Panchatan.
with
Yes,
such
Panchatan.
beautiful stories about, animals sharing, and, how not to judge other people, and how to always be kind. And actually now I've never really thought about where did I get those core values from. It came from your stories, actually.
Yes, yes. There used to be one, chu ye taraka paniti burdishi udunza. That means you're teaching them to feed the birds. It is sparrow, come sparrow, eat some grains, drink some water, and then go. So the children are taught that you should feed the birds, feed the animals. So such type of stories the grandmothers tell. And it's not a book knowledge.
Yeah.
You use story, you tell them, and you make them good human beings.
Your ability to remember stories and tell stories anytime on demand is just an incredible thing. The oratory. Yeah, yeah.
So, grandmothers are not, they are just happy to be happy with their grandchildren, not to discipline them with a hard hand, or not to spoil
Yeah.
them with giving them money and this thing. Just enjoy their being with them and enjoy seeing
Wow.
them growing.
Nani, I can't wait to see you. It's been a year and a half now since I last saw you, and because of COVID, I haven't been able to. I have to see you on Zoom. It's nice to see you on Zoom, but I just want to hug you. So
Thank you. Thank you.
anyway, okay, Mom, I'll
So
hand
bye,
over.
everybody. Thank you.
Well, that was an utter delight to be a fly on the wall. And I wanted to ask Mummy, if you didn't have grandmothers, where did you learn all these Natsaga, Ghuma, and all these classic stories? Where did you get them from?
I don't know. I think in the schools and all, perhaps. In the schools and all, we used to have these songs and all. We used to play these games. And then the children really enjoyed this. There are so many of them, like that Jim Pori Jim, and so many are there.
Yeah, it's a uniquely Maharashtrian cultural thing, I imagine. In different parts of India, grandmothers must be having their versions of these, but these are very classic Maharashtrian ones. And they
Yes.
were just, I had to remember them in order to share it on with Shravan and Shambhavi. But I also want to close with something about you, Mummy, that maybe the audience also needs to know that you have survived tuberculosis, you've survived breast cancer, you've survived heart disease, and most recently quadruple bypass surgery. So you've had like 4 serious health knocks. That even one of those would have knocked out the average woman. So I'm just in awe at where you get your zest for life and this never say die spirit. Where do you think that comes from?
This is only for love for my children. I love them so much, so I just want to be strong for them and be around with them. And I never, somehow, I don't know, it is in my nature. I don't feel all the time depressed or anything. I just come out of it immediately. To tell you the truth, I treated cancer as if there was some flu or something. I mean, I was not worried that I'm going to die or anything. In fact, I was just thinking that how I will get up soon and how we will do some programs where my daughters will dance and all. So,
Yeah, I truly don't believe there is another. God broke the mold after He made you. We've traveled the world, we've seen the world, but truly you are unique.
so nice.
And you've been a caregiver to your husband. Daddy had a near fatal car accident in 1992. And ever since then, you became a full time caregiver. And you gave yourself to that role with such selflessness. It is utterly remarkable that you have given up your own needs and you have put his needs first. And you continue to do that even now. So, where does that come from?
No, that is utter. I mean, I'm very, very aware of my responsibilities. I wouldn't give my responsibility of my husband to anybody else. I mean, I know he's my this thing. So as long as I'm fit and fine, I will take care of him.
Also, I must say that the two of you have had such a beautiful love affair, and you are still very much the quintessential lovebirds. It's very sweet to see that after, I don't know, what, 50, how many years of marriage now?
56.
56 years of marriage. You are still very much in love. And that is so precious. You are a real example for the rest of us to follow. So on
She's
that note,
she's
thank you
she's
so much. Shravan, something last to add?
she's blushing now. She doesn't know she
And
doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, yeah. So lots of love. Thank you both. I really enjoyed it. And thank you, Vilasini Patnaik, grandmother of Kartik Das and Shravan Bhat and Pallavi Das and Shambhavi Bhat and to have
all very, very talented and super grandchildren.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Lots of blessings. Bye now.